New polygraph testing coming to the Pentagon. Hi, this is Lindy Kyzer with ClearanceJobs.com. The controversy around polygraphs related to employment screenings and the security clearance process, certainly nothing new. A news article that came out this week notes potential plans for the Pentagon to roll out more polygraph testing specific to officials working in the Secretary of Defense's office or the Joint Chiefs of Staff. This all stems from a desire to curb possible leaks of, sensitive, maybe not classified information. The irony is the news article stemmed from, you guessed it, leaked memos that possibly might lead to more polygraphs. So first, let's start out with the polygraph process as it relates to security clearance and pre-employment screenings. This policy already exists. It's out there for a number of positions. When you look at a lot of the positions out there for the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Secretary of Defense already, a lot of those are TSSCI with CI or full scope poly already out the gate. Now, often the kind of back and forth is it seems like a lot more military positions don't have the same polygraph requirements that the same equivalent would for a contractor position. So, a little inside baseball here, actually increasing polygraph requirements for some of those uniformed military positions mimics more what when contracts are written to fill those billets often require a CI or full scope polygraph, because that's actually feedback we've heard from a lot of contractors hiring saying, hey, they have a service member who's been doing this exact same job, either the NSA or Pentagon. I want to get them into that position and have to go through a separate polygraph process to get them in there. Wah, wah. So again, polygraphs are, as far as pre-employment screening, relatively standard. I'm not going to speculate on these potential for new polygraphs just because it's entirely speculation at this point. But just knowing the polygraph process is a somewhat typical process. It's a big issue when it comes to reciprocity because a lot of times these agencies, when they're crossing over people into positions, sure, they'll accept your security clearance, but they want you to go through their own additional vetting, which is often a polygraph. So kind of having these polygraphs is kind of a mark in the road when it comes to, I've heard a lot of people overseas assignments. You're overseas for a little bit, you come back, what do they want to do? Give you another polygraph. What I certainly hope the Pentagon looks at if they're looking for more polygraphs related to pre-employment screening or screenings across the board is right now what we're still hearing is definitely a lack of qualified polygraph examiners. So, job announcement alert, they need more qualified, credentialed polygraph examiners in order to support any increased polygraph requirements. Again, someone following the employment trend lines, that's certainly what I would say first. Like, hey, let's equip this. Let's help with the existing polygraph backlog before we consider adding more. That's my 2 cents. Again, for more on what to expect from a security clearance or pre-employment polygraph, about the polygraph process, why it still exists, which is way too much for me to go into on this video update, check out all of our news articles and updates over at ClearanceJobs.com.